I don't know about you, but when I heard they were making a live-action adaptation of the classic tale, The Little Mermaid, I was expecting something magical, enchanting, and visually stunning. But what we got was a soulless mess that left me feeling like I had been trapped in a sunken ship with a limited supply of air. The only thing more suffocating than the lack of oxygen was the stale humor trying to pass off as comedy.
But I will go down with this shit.
Before we go on, please subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment, and share the video on social media. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member, but more on that later. Alright, so the plot is like a tidal wave of missed opportunities. They took a beloved tale and diluted it like a mermaid's tears in an ocean of disappointment. It's as if they held a seashell to their ear, heard the echoes of a captivating story, and decided to toss it back into the sea like yesterday's seaweed salad. The only thing this adaptation accomplished was making me want to go back in time and trade my voice for a refund. The pacing was as turbulent as a hurricane, lurching from one underwhelming scene to another like a drunken sailor on a storm-tossed ship. It's like they used a compass that pointed in the opposite direction of engaging storytelling. And then there's the acting. Now, I'm not saying Halle Bailey is a bad actress, but her portrayal of Ariel had all the excitement of listening to your grandma explain the 100 benefits of Bengay. I mean, if her performance were any more lackluster, we need to check for signs of rigor mortis.
That bitch is dead.
Maybe she was going for the whole enigmatic mermaid vibe, but it came across more like mildly bored manatee. Let's just say her acting didn't make any waves, except for the waves of yawn sweeping through the theater. Now, I have to hand it to her for one thing. She really nailed the whole wide-eyed and clueless look. I mean, if deer in the headlights were an Olympic sport, she'd win gold every time. And Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. They turned the menacing sea witch into a failed stand-up comedian running drag queen story hour. I've seen scarier things in my toilet bowl after a night at Taco Bell. Instead of striking fear in our hearts, she had us wondering if she was going to star in the newest Bud Light commercial. And don't even get me started on Jonah Hauer-King as Eric. Hauer-King? Horking? Jonah Horking. Whatever, Eric. With his bland expressions and wooden delivery, it's no wonder that Ariel fell head over fins for him. I mean, who wouldn't swoon over a guy whose charisma is more elusive than Atlantis itself? It's like they plucked a cardboard cutout from the shelves of a party supply store and gave it a speaking role. His performance lacked the charm, depth, and presence that a character like Eric demands. Honestly, it's impressive how he managed to take a character with the depth of a puddle and make him even more shallow. Either way, his rendition of Kiss the Girl felt more like a distress call for a rescue boat. Now, I understand that Eric is supposed to be known for his dashing looks, but Jonah's performance made me question if they accidentally cast him for his ability to blend into the background. I'm pretty sure the Seabreeze had more screen presence than he did. Then there's Awkwafina as Scuttle. They turned the lovable seagull into a feathered embodiment of misinformation. She personifies the worst aspects of Twitter. I mean, her unnecessary rap segment my ears and gave me a Magic Johnson-sized case of AIDS. And then the underwater scenes. They were so poorly executed that it felt like the characters were swimming in a pool of pixelated disappointment. It's like they raided the bargain bin at a dollar store for their design inspirations. The fish looked like they were rejects from a 90s screensaver, and the sea plants appeared as if they are created by an over-enthusiastic intern armed with clip art and sparkly stickers. But that only applies when you can actually see the underwater sequences. I mean, the underwater scenes were shot so dark, it would need water wings just to swim. Honestly, it was as murky as the depths of the Mariana Trench. They had the opportunity to create a visually stunning underwater world, but instead, we are treated to visuals reminiscent of a public swimming pool during a chlorine shortage. It was like watching a slideshow of mediocre aquariums, complete with dim lighting and uninspired framing. I guess they were hoping we'd be so mesmerized by the characters' lack of gills that we wouldn't notice the lack of creativity in the visuals. But sorry, Disney, we're not a school of naive goldfish. We can spot a lazy attempt at visual storytelling when we see one. It's a shame because the ocean is full of wonder and beauty, and they managed to capture none of it. I've seen more vibrant and realistic underwater scenes in a toilet bowl after someone flushed their dead fish. As for the creature design, it's like the production team took a field trip to the local aquarium built by Hunter S. Thompson and embraced the nightmares they saw.
There was evidence in this room of excessive consumption of almost every type of drug known to civilized man since 1544 AD.
I mean, who needs anatomical accuracy when you can have a fish with tentacles that look like they are borrowed from a hentai film? So, if you ever wanted to see the wonders of the ocean reimagined as the stuff of aquatic horror, then congratulations, this movie has got you covered. The action sequences in The Little Mermaid were sporadic splashes of excitement amidst an ocean of boredom. They lacked the adrenaline pumping intensity of a shark feeding frenzy, and instead resembled a synchronized swimming routine by an uninspired school of fish. I've seen more thrilling action in a documentary about anal polyp reproduction.
Sorry,
Stop
I'm looking
it.
at you and you're making me.
Well, don't look at me. Push through.
Then there's the musical sequences, which are easily some of the worst I have seen in a very long time. They took the beloved songs that once filled our hearts with joy and turned them into earworms that burrowed into your brains like hungry piranhas. It's like they replaced enchanting melodies with the sounds of screeching dolphins on helium. I'm pretty sure my eardrums filed for emotional distress after enduring that cacophony. Alright, now let's talk about some of the changes they made to the story. I get it, adaptations are meant to bring something new to the table. But did they have to mess with the source material so much? It's like they took a beloved fairy tale and decided to remix it with a mediocre rom-com about a womanizing dad with a kink for ethnic women. I mean, King Triton has more baby mamas than Nick Cannon. It's like his sole goal was to bang a dolphin from every continent. At least that's how I assume mermaids are made. Then we have Ursula, who is now Triton's estranged sister. It's like they wanted to add a touch of dysfunctional family drama to an underwater kingdom that already had more issues than a gender-confused teenager.
To lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade!
And maybe Ursula was just pissed because Triton draws the line at incest. As for one of the most important elements of The Little Mermaid, the love story between Ariel and Eric. It's about as believable as a Bud Light drinker who hasn't chopped off their own dick. We're talking Mulvaney-esque levels of testicular fortitude.
I got my dick off!
In the original, Prince Eric was a salty seaman, but in this reimagined, repurposed, repulsive, live-action version, he looks like a butter-soft whose only experience with line handling involves giving handies in an alley behind the castle. I mean, seriously, their romance was so forced and rushed, it made me wonder if Disney's idea of true love is just a magical form of Stockholm Syndrome. It's like they sprinkled fairy dust on a cardboard cutout and expected us to swoon. I've seen more passion between a cat and a laser pointer. Their connection had less electricity than a well-used vibrator with a dead battery. If that's what they call romance, then I'll stick to dating a cantaloupe heated inside a microwave. At least I know I'll get some heated moments and a satisfying ding at the end. The writers seem to have forgotten that witty banter and clever dialogue are the lifeblood of a memorable film. Instead, we were left with lines as stale as last week's catch, delivered with all the enthusiasm of a depressed sea cucumber. I've heard more captivating conversations during a high-stakes game of tic-tac-toe. It used to be, when a writer came up with an idea for a new story, they told it as a new story. Nowadays, it seems like the entire goal is to find an existing IP, cannibalize it for the audience, and then vomit up the resulting sick on a reel and pretend like it isn't actually partially digested regurgitation of something that used to resemble a quality story. In the end, The Little Mermaid sinks like a stone anchor tied to a drowning sailor. It's a twisted and misguided adaptation that leaves us feeling like we're swimming in the remnants of a shipwrecked franchise. The changes to the story, lackluster performances, and underwhelming visual effects combine to create a cinematic disaster that makes the Titanic look like a successful pleasure cruise. So save your precious time and swim away from this sinking ship of a movie. Go rewatch the original animated masterpiece, where the mermaids don't need auto-tune to hit high notes, and fish have more personality than the entire cast combined. Or better yet, dive into other cinematic offerings that won't leave you gasping for a decent storyline or struggling to find the humor amidst the sea of mediocrity. Trust me, there are plenty of fish in the cinematic sea, and this one isn't worth the bait. Make sure you smash the like button, leave a comment, and share the link on social media. It helps let YouTube know my videos are worth watching and will send out notifications. It really helps the channel. Now, if you like what I do and want to support my channel, consider becoming a channel member. You'll gain access to exclusive content like member live streams and have your name listed at the end of my videos.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I appreciate every single one of my supporters, way more than you know.
They're doing their part. Are you